This is our delegation. I'm just quickly going to introduce everybody on this stage. The far left is our ambassador over here in Brussels. Is Senator Faisal Subswari from Karachi, the former Minister for Maritime Affairs. The Minister for Climate Change, Senator Musaddiq Maleh. The former Minister for Climate Change and current Parliamentary Leader for the People's Party in the Senate of Pakistan, Sharif Rahman. The former Minister for Defense, Commerce, Foreign Affairs, Energy, and a whole host of things, Mr. Khurram Dastagir, and finally the former Foreign Minister, first female Foreign Minister, Hina Rabbani Kar, and I'm Bilawal Bhutto. As you're aware, following the 5-day war between India and Pakistan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan put together this delegation and gave us a mission. A mission to advocate for peace in the subcontinent and to engage the international community, all of whom played a role in the de-escalation and in the facilitation of the ceasefire, and then some countries played a role in the mediation of the ceasefire, to encourage them to continue to play the role so that we can achieve a permanent peace in South Asia. This, we believe, is the only way for us to address all issues. There's no military solution to the issue of Kashmir. There's no military solution to the issue of terrorism. There's no military solution to any of the problems that India and Pakistan have faced historically. As a result of this conflict, we've also keen to sound the alarm that there's a false sense of calm following this ceasefire. Those who are not aware of the details believe that the ceasefire is achieved, we're back to normal, and we're all safe now. Well, that's not the case. The reality is that we are all less safe today than we were at the start of this conflict. And the simple reason is that the threshold from full-blown war between two nuclear powers has been so drastically reduced that we've never been at this level in our history. As things stand today, if there's a terrorist attack anywhere, in India or India-occupied Kashmir, proof or no proof, that means war with Pakistan. In that situation, when we've just seen how quickly the escalation ladder rose just in 5 days, and at the conclusion of these 5 days, one of the final acts that India perpetrated was firing a BrahMos dual-use nuclear-capable missile into Pakistan. Now, in this particular case, that wasn't nuclear armed, but Pakistan has a very small window for us to decide, looking at an image, that this missile coming towards us that is capable of holding nuclear weapons, is it or is it not loaded? And how do we respond? The terms that both countries have set for the escalation ladder between ourselves is 1+. So whatever attack one side does to the other responds by +1. In a circumstance where the threshold of conflict has been so drastically lowered that any indigenous act of terrorism also would mean war with Pakistan. In a circumstance where the escalation ladder has so significantly increased, and just within the space of 5 days, what we're concerned about is that next time round the escalation ladder won't start from zero, it'll start from where we left off, and there may not be time for the international community to intervene and encourage a ceasefire. Finally, the weaponization of water. Pakistan and India have fought generation after generation over the issue of Kashmir, the unfinished agenda of partition, the pending issue of the UN Security Council. More recently, we fought over the issue of terrorism. Preceding this conflict, the Indian government announced that it was illegally violating the Indus Water Treaty and threatened to cut off the water supply for 240 million Pakistanis. Just the mere threat to cut off Pakistan's water is a violation of the UN Charter. This is our only source of water for our people to drink, for our agriculture and our agricultural economy to rely on. A threat to our water supply is an existential threat to Pakistan. It is a matter of our survival. It would provoke Pakistan, acting on this threat, would provoke Pakistan. We would consider it an act of war and have no choice. It is the absolute last thing we needed in the Himalayan region, which we refer to as the third pole. It's the largest collection of snow and ice anywhere in the world. This is the region where we should regionally be cooperating, internationally be cooperating to meet the challenge of climate change. Instead, we've set up a fault line and damned future generations of Pakistani and Indians to not only fight over Kashmir, to not only fight over terrorism, but now to, in perpetuity to fight over water. Laid the foundations for the first water war between two nuclear-armed powers. It is in this context that Pakistan seeks your assistance. We're particularly pleased to be here in the European Union because, of course, the European Union is a consistent advocate, the last line of defense for the rules-based order, for international law, a strong advocate for climate, for access to water, and you've witnessed war on your continent. We set up this international rules-based order to ensure that future generations we save from the scourge of war. Pakistan believes we need a comprehensive dialogue with India, one in which we can talk about the root causes, be it the root cause of Kashmir, be it the root cause of terrorism, and one where we can address the issue of water. India has said no, no, no every step of the way. Following the terrorist attack in Indian-occupied Kashmir, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, publicly offered that Pakistan would be willing to be part of an international, impartial investigation into this terrorist attack. The Indians said no. Pakistan has always called for the United Nations, the UN Security Council, and that institution to be used to resolve our disputes, particularly Kashmir, which is on the agenda. It was taken to the United Nations by the Indian government. The Indians say no. Pakistan and the United States have spoken about mediation. The Indians say no. Pakistan has talked about bilateral comprehensive dialogue. The Indians say no. If we are to live in a world where we have reduced the threshold for conflict as drastically as we have, where we've increased the pace at which we rise on the escalation ladder in the manner that we have had, and if we are to be the only two nuclear states without any dispute resolution mechanism, the last dispute resolution mechanism we had is the Indus Water Treaty, and India says no to that too. I put it to you, it is not in the interest of the people of Pakistan, and indeed it is not in the interest of India, and it is not in the interest of the international community for us to maintain this status quo. There is a moral obligation for all international players to play their part, to encourage both sides to engage in a dialogue, to advance diplomacy. Diplomacy in the pursuit of peace should not be partisan. It should not be a partisan issue. The weaponization of water should not be a partisan issue. Peace cannot be a partisan issue. I look forward to answering all your questions. If you have a specific question for any member of my delegation, please refer to them. Otherwise, I'd be happy to respond.
Thank you, Excellency.